Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha would be here and is here, but she's on vacation the time that we're taping this, so not here.
Yes. Chef Pat and Eric are here from Hollabox Willow Tree Cafe.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
Sanford.
What's new at Hollabox?
Yes. It's getting into the hot times of year.
I thought you were. I had an exact opposite thing on my tongue. I was going to say it's getting to be eating season.
Yeah. Well, it's always
I
eating
invented
season.
that. Yeah, it is always eating season at Hollabox.
So, in the summertime, things always kind of slow down. But like what I've said before, Hollabox is more of a destination than just a regular restaurant.
Yeah.
It's like it's not like you go to experience Hollabox, not just you're going out to dinner, even though
This would be a good time to go, right? Because, is a Saturday night in the summertime a little less packed than, if you guys have a cool night, I know where everybody's going to be.
Right. So as long as weather's good, Saturdays in summer, generally a little bit slower, but still busy.
But the same experience.
But you still get the same thing. You get the rooftop.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been, coming, getting on the list, go grab a drink up at the bar upstairs or grab a drink downstairs, walk around, take a look at everything, check out. We're in the middle of changing our art, installation. But we've got our little art gallery we're working on upstairs.
Tell me about the art house, because I saw this online, and I don't think have we ever talked about that?
I don't know. I think we just kind of got it going. Eric's
it's
way more on it than I am.
Yeah, it's brand new. We actually don't quite have we only have one exhibit right now, which is from the amazing artist Linda Hollerbach.
Okay.
But I think our first show is going to be at the end of August. It's kind of a weird one. It's for Trash Cat birthday. And that'll be the first time we have our full gallery set up, so it should be pretty amazing. So.
Yeah, it's cool. I love that kind of that homegrown Sanford feeling. Tracy just reminded me that Linda's also doing, is it jewelry classes?
Yeah.
Jewelry classes, acrylic pouring paint classes, painting classes.
So you guys just got to start doing everything the restaurant? Because it used to be a restaurant. Then restaurant becomes outfitter.
It was a cafe.
Yeah, the cafe first. You're right.
And then it turned into a full restaurant.
Yeah, then into a full-blown restaurant.
What's crazy is the amount of space that you guys had available. Because when I even go upstairs and stuff, and I'm like, this was always here, so huge. And I know there's a renovation space, but then there's other space.
Yeah, you guys just keep adding to
it.
It
used to be really, really easy to hide. Now not so much, because
Yes.
all the spaces are used now.
If you guys don't want to work, where do you go? Because if you're in the kitchen,
executive bathroom.
Yeah, if you step over to the art house, they're doing something. You're going to get pulled in. If you step over to Outfitters, or hey, the spaghetti ice isn't more. We need some help over. There's always
Literally.
There's always something going on. Does it get to be a little too much, or do you guys just keep? It seems like you guys naturally keep growing.
Chef Pat, myself, a couple others, we have our nose in everything.
Right.
It's just hard to walk through there, turn it off, So
I'm sure.
we're involved in stuff that I'm the marketing guy, and next thing you know, I'm like, I don't know if I'd cook it that way, chef.
But he's been with us for so long. I've been at Hollerbox almost 18 years. Eric, what are you, 13 years?
Yeah, 13.
Congrats, guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
it is like a family business.
It is a family business still.
100%.
Even with 700 seats and 160 staff members, we're still a family restaurant.
Yeah, and you guys are rolling out some art. There's an art space now. So is this something that if you were a Sanford artist, you would be able to have a showing, or is it just for you guys right now? Or do you not even know where it's going?
Actually, so with that Trash Cat birthday show, if you go on Art House's Facebook page, Hollerbox Art House Facebook page, there's actually a submission link right now, so you can submit for the show. We do have a gallerist, Mariah, who we just hired, so she's kind of in charge of all that stuff. So I think it'll kind of vary from show to show about how we want to do it, whether it be selected or submitted or whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like the first little show that we had, we did little hors d'oeuvres and cocktail type thing for people to walk around and kind of do it.
Yeah.
Thursdays are art and jazz downtown Sanford, so there's 5 or 6 spots that have artists and musical artists on third Thursdays.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, not to put more on our plate, but I know within the Twitch chat room, within the whether it's Pabone, Christine, Josh, there's a bunch of these we have so many artists within our BDM, within our Tom and Dan community. It might be worthy, in the future to pick a a weekend or a night or something, or maybe even longer, and have them submit. And then let's do a showing of all of our listeners and how talented they are, because they truly blow my mind. Like, it's one of the only things, and that's not one of the only things. There's tons of things I can't do, but it's one of the only things that I wish I could do. You know, like people go, "Oh, Dan, you can play guitar, or you can drum, or you can sing." And I'm like, yeah, that's all great, but I really, really, really wish I could draw, and I can't. Yeah. I'm not terrible. I mean, like, I'm better than most because I think I'm creative. But I can't draw. I can't, like, just rip out a sketch of anything. Yeah. When I see somebody like Christine, like, she drew a picture for my wife of our dog that had passed away, Caesar, that everybody knows.
Right.
I look at that. It looks just like him. And every little hair is, like, painstakingly drawn with a tiny brush. And I'm like, how the hell do people do that? How do you even capture the picture of the animal in your mind enough to reproduce it onto the wood when you paint?
It's genetics.
It's not.
No, they have that inside there. It's like asking Tyreek Hill, well, how can you run this fast? Did you practice something? Like he just runs that fast.
Yeah, he just runs. But definitely we should do something in the space, because this is exciting, you guys.
Yeah, like that'd be awesome. I'll get with Mariah after this, and maybe we can set something up for next year.
Yeah, we can do a little food and art, because we haven't done that. We've wanted to do it, but you always run the risk, if you don't know the spot or what you're doing, of like it failing miserably or looking pretentious and odd. And you guys aren't that way, so I know
I think that's one thing about the space is it's not pretentious. It's in a restaurant, and you kind of got to know that going in. There's going to be stuff going on. The gallery wraps around, but it's right by the upstairs server station.
That's dope.
So you're going to see people, bussing tables and getting drinks and, carrying food out.
I will tell you that I don't understand how to appreciate art because I think I'm thinking about it differently than other people. Because when I see someone looking at a painting, I look at the painting, look at them, look at the painting. I'm like, well, what are you looking at? Like, what are you looking at? How hard do you think this was to do? I don't know.
When you look at a piece of art, do you start at a certain area, or do you take it all in, and do you start to micro dissect it in any way?
No, I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do. Someone's got to tell me.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's a rule book when it comes to digesting art. I think you just kind of, whatever it invokes, whatever it makes you feel.
Show me some art.
Well, behind you, these are our branding pieces of our faces.
I'm looking at it. I
got nothing.
No, but what am I looking at?
Well, like for me, I would say, look at how clean the lines are. Look at the symmetry. I mean, look at the way that the hair in all of these, the way the curvature of the drawing that Sebastian used for each of our heads, there's a symmetry in that, and it's also the same style. Notice how he mimicked, there's certain areas over here where you use the negative space. Instead of drawing out my cheeks, he just used negative space to form my cheeks.
Okay, so you are dissecting, and
I mean, you're making me do that, but normally this all just happens in my brain. Like I look at it, I go, oh wow, he didn't draw the face. He used the negative space of the beard to make the face. So he didn't carve it out. It just happened to form itself based. It's like an illusion of a shadow.
I need to know how hard this was for the person to do. Like I need to.
Well, does that matter though? It doesn't. It only matters what the art makes you feel. So if it took him 5 minutes or if it took him an hour, like what does it matter?
But when someone says like, I put these pennies together and it made the face of Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, I've seen that.
Oh, right. And then it took.
I'm a fan.
Classic.
If you make things out of pennies, I'll be there. And if you put pennies on your floor and polyurethane it, I'll walk on it.
And then
That's
tell
a Dan
me
Dennis guarantee.
This took 1,400 hours to do. Yeah. And then I'm like, all right,
like the dot art. Remember the dot art guy we interviewed?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, from TikTok, he does the little dots, and then he did.
Or whatever.
Yeah, and then you pull back, and then, look, who is Robin Williams? Oh my God, killed himself. I'm crying.
Then I'm like, well, I know what like a 40-hour work week for an average human, you should get paid about this much. And then I start doing a little bit of math, and then that's the way I value what this piece of art is.
So like I learned the other day that Starry Night, the Van Gogh painting.
Yeah.
He did that in like 3 days. So like that would not be like, you wouldn't be into that one.
No, we weren't exactly because then
3 days is a long time though.
Then it starts going into the world
to me,
of subjective.
To Tom, maybe not.
Yeah. Like I need to know time and numbers. Yeah. So what is it like?
What about this abstract? Where it's like splattered and swoopy doo.
Jackson Pollock's.
Yeah.
But then I have the understanding like, all right, the famous person, the famous artist has a brand, and then you're paying for that brand. I understand that. So it's like, all right, this person is 100 million people know him.
You're a Thomas Kincaid man, aren't you?
I like the Banksy thing interests me.
Yeah,
just the whole mysteriousness.
I think the Banksy thing is what ruins it for Tom, because the reason I think Banksy is your guy, really, because he turns that whole like what is the value of art on its head. You know, he destroys his own pieces. He's totally irreverent.
But see, I understand that more. Because,
right, that's what I'm saying.
Because then now you dabble into marketing,
right.
And I've learned to.
It's a little more urban. It's quick. It's younger.
But I also understand the value of popularity and the value of marketing and brand, and I can wrap my head around that. But I'm just saying, you show me a random piece of art on a wall.
Yeah.
I don't know how to appreciate that piece of art. It's like it's some sort
of.
You're
overthinking it.
Like, say there's a German windmill, right?
I love a good German windmill. I love them. Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah. And then someone painted it. And
someone would say the best windmills come from Germany.
And then it's on the wall, and I don't know. Like, if someone said this is a famous person who painted this, then I could start
Windmill Jones.
I could start doing the calculations. Like, all right, a famous person did this, so this is special. But if you just show me the picture, I'm like, hey, is this good? I'm looking around. I'm like, is this good for a painter? I don't know.
I always
it looks like a windmill.
I look at it and I think, if I could do it,
right?
You know, so I look at it and be like, that's good. You know, like I couldn't do it. Like I always put myself in. Maybe that's selfish, but I think I do. Like I look at that painting right there that we have. That is from Earl Funk and Derek Jennings, two friends of the show, two tattoo artists and artists here in town, right?
Yeah.
And they painted that by hand. I look at that and I know I can't do it, and it's pop art. I mean, it's crazy, and it's, you know, it's all over the place, and it's kind of you know, a little adult. Right.
Yeah.
I look at that and I know I can't do it, and I don't I don't think like, how do I appreciate that? I just appreciate it because I know it's not something I can do.
Yeah. No, I can't do anything. So I appreciate the talent it took, but I don't need to know what, like, how many people could do this. Like, the people that can draw.
A lot of people could do that.
The people that can draw like super realistic art, like the people that
I love hyper realistic paintings where you look at it and it's usually like fat women. I don't mean that disrespectful, but you know, like it was a time when you were, if you were a heavier girl and smooth, you were like the most beautiful. I think you are, but you know, like you were like a kept lady, right?
Porcelain skin.
Yes, you had the bright white, and you were very curvy. And I always see, but it looks real. They put the right pink in there. And they shade everything, you know, and it looks creepy almost. It's so real.
But then I can understand, like, oh, how realistic it looks is how valuable it is. Because then you got me again. Because it's like, all right, this person drew this that looks like a picture. To me, that's super hard to do.
Super realistic matters more to you than caricature. If I drew a caricature, like an exaggerated drawing of a person, and it like, you wouldn't give it as much value.
But that's the thing. This is not how art works at all.
Well, maybe it does to you. Maybe it does to you. That's okay, right? Because art is something to everybody. So if in your art world, in your brain, hyper realistic art that took a long time is valued more, that's totally okay.
I just wonder when the fancy people are standing at some sort of gallery or show, and they're staring at the painting.
I think they're doing what we just did.
What are you looking at? Because I can look at it and be like, oh wow,
it always comes back.
That's good.
It's a lot more simple.
But I was like, I don't need to stare at it for that long. I just look at it and I'm like, oh, it's good.
Yeah, for some people, it's more important who painted it than what it actually is.
Right.
That's like a whole thing too for collectors. You know, so. Everybody has their own little
like you always see on every couple of months, you'll see on Reddit, like, oh, we found a napkin that Picasso drew on or something. And then it's, you know, and you look at it and you're like, that's not that big of a deal. It is, but it isn't.
It just all comes down to I'm too dumb and unclassy for art. I think
I don't think it. I think you just get in your own way. I don't think you're anything.
Yeah, you know who gets in their own way? Dumb people.
That I can't argue with. But it is like...
They trip a lot.
I've never seen anybody who, if I were to take you to an art museum, you know, like, dare I say, the Orlando Museum of Art here in town, to see, you know, some art, and we walk in and we look at it, like, knowing the torture you're going through of looking around and like using other people looking at art to compare to you of like, what should I be doing right now? Are you like, it's like you're slightly freaking out a little bit.
I went to one of the most famous art museums.
You've been to the Louvre, right?
Yeah, in Paris, And
you missed a great opportunity to say Perry.
I
can't let that slide.
That was the
I cannot let that slide. You paused.
I was going to say Old Perry.
I thought you were going to say Old Perry, and I was going to
That's what I called it the whole time.
If you said that, I'd have gotten up and hugged you, and I know you would have hated that. But he missed an ample opportunity to be like, I saw I've been to the Louvre and Gay Perry.
And I walked around and I looked at the art, and I didn't know how to appreciate it. I saw the
congratulations, you're like everybody else.
Yeah, have you ever painted anything, Tom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember that bit? He painted something in the
His
lobby.
Pat sent us some garbage,
and it wasn't
bad
at all.
This.
It wasn't bad. He's actually. I've seen you draw before, and you're an okay artist. You say no to that, but I used to see you doodle at the studio, and you can draw.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can.
No, I cannot.
Better than
I did a Bob Ross class with Christina and Linda many years ago over in New Smyrna at the studio over there.
Yeah.
And it's like, a step up from Whiny Wench's paint night or whatever. But, you have an instructor up there, and they go step by step and do the painting with them. And so I feel like it gives you a little bit more of a concept of how that got on the paper, because it starts in the back and you work your way forward with your base, and then all your highlights are the last thing that go on pretty much. So when you kind of get the concept, I think you can look at stuff and look and see all that detail, and you're like, oh, I know how they did that because he cut that in with a knife, or look at the tiny brush strokes here, look at that because you've done it and you can correlate it.
Yeah, you start breaking it down to math. That's what I need. So it was like how I play the bass. I just need to know where to put my fingers.
You need some repetition, and then you'll flourish a little bit. Ghost of Manu Bull in our Twitch chat room, and yes, we are live on Twitch, twitch.tv/TomAndDanLive. He says, I remember on a recent OG show, Tom went to Lou Gardens with Crystal for a couples painting class. He drew some flowers with senior citizens. I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
I went to a gardening class.
It was a gardening class. It wasn't a painting class.
Yeah. And,
have you ever been to a painting class?
No.
Would you go? You wouldn't do that, right?
I'd go for someone else, but not
like
for
if your wife said, hey, I signed us up for a painting class, you'd go?
Yeah.
What if I signed you up?
To save our
what
marriage?
If I signed you up? Oh, my God.
Is
there anything you need to talk about?
No, I'm just saying that's probably why it was like the gardening
You're
class.
like, okay, I'm going to save. Oh, so you were saving your marriage when you went to
I don't know. Well, I always think whatever I'm doing.
Whatever you do for her. That's true. That's for me, too. I think most men, if your wife asks you to do something, you should understand you're doing that to save your marriage.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working to make money.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. And so I have to be. There has to be a goal.
There has to be something. Yeah.
It can't just be for the enjoyment. Sorry. So let's talk Magnolia Square Market. So you got some fudge with you.
Okay, thank you.
Great segue. Tom.
He is the king of the segue. I'm glad so I see you have some fudge, sir.
Yeah, fudge.
Magnolia Square Market, round the corner. I hear round the corner fudge is made. Is that true?
I was waiting for somebody.
Milk, lemonade. Hey, Hollabox, where's the fudge made? Don't buy it.
How am I getting worse at this?
I don't know. I was asking the same thing.
Everybody gets better over time,
Just
right?
say it's your art. Just say it's your art.
Okay, all right.
And then just stand there and look at it. And then I'll say, what the hell is he looking at? How does he know what the art is?
So let's talk fudge.
Let's talk fudge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is available there.
Yeah.
Let's talk fudge. So let me get this straight. This is your fudge. Is that correct, Pat? Your fudge? This is your fudge.
Yes.
Whose fudge is this?
And it is there.
Who brought the fudge? Goddammit. Whose fudge is this? Eric's your fudge? This is Pat's fudge. Whose fudge? Daniel's his fudge?
The fudge is really hitting the fan.
Yeah, let's talk fudge. Okay, so you do you guys make this? Is this in-house fudge?
It is in-house fudge. We feel like every local small town, touristy town has a fudge spot. You go down to
it's huge.
Come see our fudge spot.
You can't say fudge spot.
Son of a
It's huge. It's you. Maybe it's that fudge. You know what? This is the worst one we've ever done.
I know.
So we're trying to bring the fudge to everybody, guys. That's what we're doing.
So Okay, how
We don't fudge around at Hollerbox, okay?
Yes.
How?
Yes, I have
you,
tears in my eyes of dad joke tears.
I'm not. I don't.
Oh my God.
Really understand what fudge is.
All right. No, you
like-
came to the right place.
So, because if you said like, "Hey, here's chocolate,"
Hey, here's chocolate. I would say that. That sounds like something I would say. Hey, here's chocolate.
I guess chocolate is hard. Like it comes in
cocoa.
a hard.
It's cocoa,
yeah,
right?
Like cocoa.
You start with cocoa.
The gorilla?
Yes.
But then you getting into fudge, and I'm like, well, it's not cake. It's like melted chocolate a
It's
little
a
bit.
confection.
It's a confection.
Or it's like a harder pudding. like, I don't know.
Fudge. It's the hard pudding. Hold on, write that down. That's the funniest thing you've ever said. I was cursed. Fudge. It's the hard pudding.
Like,
It's
I'm
Mike's
trying to
Hard
describe it.
Lemonade of fudge.
Theo's
is
Hard
Mike-
Pudding.
Okay, fudge is the Mike's Hard Lemonade of pudding.
What is it?
Hard pudding. It's hard. I love it. I love this idea. Eric can't even breathe. You killed Eric. Are you feel happy? You killed Eric.
I'm the marketing guy. I got nothing on that.
Yeah.
Chocolate, cocoa powder,
who
sugar,
could have
butter.
anything better? That's the best marketing. Hard pudding is the best marketing tagline I've ever heard.
Yeah.
The teens will eat this up.
So when you say convection, what is it? What'd you say?
Convection, not a convection. Convection is an oven. Wow, you are. Oh man, are you having a stroke?
Confection.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
A sugary treat?
Yeah, a sweet treat.
Okay.
Anything technically that's a candy is like a
Confectionery.
confection. A confectionery is a candy shop, right?
Okay.
So you go get fudge.
You killed Pat too.
Your stroke made me have a
You
stroke.
fudged them out, man.
Oh, yeah, but it's a lot of temperature control because if you
Candy
get
thermometers are no joke.
correct, so fudge is a lot more about the process. I can't even
It's
have
fine.
this
Yeah,
conversation
just
now.
power through it. Don't look into
because-
his eyes. He'll steal your soul.
Because if you make it the wrong way, it'll get too hard.
Too hard, it gets gritty. Like
you
the
can burn
chocolate will
it.
be grainy. It could just separate and not be fudge.
Yeah. My mom used
You don't
to
want it to
make-
melt. It'll like melt in room
Right.
temperature.
I don't
You don't want
know.
to look like Hulk Hogan without a shirt off. You know?
That's true. Oh man, I saw that on TikTok where Bubba the Love Sponge is talking about Hogan living with him. And
He's living with them now?
No, back in the
day.
time. And he's
okay.
doing the voice and everything. He's like, I tell her, I go, hey Heather, put on a little outfit, so when Hogan comes over, give him a little Iggy, give him a little McGillicuddy. He's doing the whole deal.
It's great.
And it's so I'm like, what is happening right? Sorry.
What does he mean? Give him a little
No,
McGillicuddy.
he was saying that. He says on the TikTok, it's like I think they're doing like a documentary. Or something. I don't know what's happening. I think
Okay.
it was you messed up my TikTok algorithm because I'm swiping through and it's Bubba the Love Sponge. She's, by the way, grayer than ever now,
Okay.
which is fine. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
It's
You
like
get old.
it's what is weird is it's abrupt when people go black, white.
Yeah.
It's like why not just leave it alone and it will naturally,
Yeah.
and then no one
That's
will
why,
know.
That's why they invented the fade.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta fade into everything.
Yeah, it's called an ombre, man.
yeah.
But anyway,
Gotta come in for a landing.
So he's doing this like he's doing
No
like a
side.
plug. He's doing like a plug for like a documentary behind the scenes thing, or I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's like Lifetime or whatever, where they're talking about Hogan, and he's like, I got my best friend Hulk Hogan living with me. In my house, and he's sad, he's suicidal, and I'd never heard that before. So he says he's suicidal, and then he says his wife's name is Heather, and he says, hey, and they show pictures of her with like her bikini on. They're like, hey, this is Bubba the Love Sponge saying to his wife at the time, he's like, hey Heather, why don't you put on like a sexy number so when Hogan comes back, and why don't you show him a good time? And then he proceeds to say, I let him sleep with my wife, but the cameras are all, and then he says that they stole the tape. But it was just funny to me that I've never heard him say as if he'd set that up to like, I can't think of a scenario where I get home and I'm like, hey Andrea, put a sexy little number on him.
Tom's feeling kind of sad today.
Tom's feeling a little sad. He embarrassed himself real bad in front of Pat and Eric about the whole fudge deal. Why don't you put on a sexy little number and give him a little McGillicuddy Iggy? Give him a little of the old razzle dazzle shimmy dog ham. Give him a little shimmy dog.
Would you let him see the fudge spot?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then she was like, yeah,
apparently.
I'll do it.
I can barely get my wife to go to Ale House. She's like, I hate sports bars. I'm like, God damn, I just want a zinger melt, man.
Yeah.
I can't even get her to go there because she just like, it's all fried. I'm like, yeah, this is a sports bar. I want to watch the Braves.
Yeah.
You
Go
know?
Braves.
And I want to see it decorated with anglers. They love fishing.
All right, let's try this fudge.
All right. Okay.
So is Black Forest fudge is.
Oh my God, that should be my rap name.
So the Black Forest fudge has the cherries and a little bit of the liqueur and chocolate cake.
And what's this one? What's this one right here? The same one?
I think Dan's got the Black Forest, and Tom, you've got just the regular fudge.
This is like this is more of a miniature cake.
Okay.
Oh man,
it's got very good texture. Like it's nice and creamy. It's very rich, but it's not too sweet. Like I'm not a chocolate man, and I love this.
I am a
fudge.
chocolate man. Well, let me tell you, who made that? Did you make that?
And Nikki, our head baker, makes that.
I'd kiss Nikki's face right now. That's freaking amazing.
Fudging amazing.
Nikki, well done. Good Lord, that's great.
you can live off that for a while out in the wilderness. Like, just, if you had that in a satchel, like you could.
Eric's going hiking next week. Take fudge with you.
I'm gonna bring it. Yeah,
man.
I mean,
get those calories in.
You had some emergency fudge.
Yeah, emergency.
I mean, you're like, if you
Tom
broke
and
that
Dan's Hollow Box emergency fudge, dude.
If you broke it into, 16 parts, I feel like one part of this a day would give you enough to
Mine
get
has
by.
cherries.
Yeah.
It's just a hint, man, on the back end of that. It's delicious.
We're working on a white chocolate Berliner fudge.
Come on,
so like
now.
a raspberry jelly donut.
Okay, this is bad for me because I love chocolate and I like fudge. My mom used to, I was going to tell you guys a story. My mom used to make every Easter, her and her sorority, and the reason I love fudge, and I think it fits perfectly for Hollow Box, and also it's like sort of a southerny thing, like all my relatives in Virginia, they're like fudge people. Can I say that?
Sure.
So they would. My mom would make these eggs, like
peanut butter ones.
They would, like almost like a humongous Buckeye, but it was like covered in fudge.
And we did those for church. Yeah.
Yeah, they would make their fudge. Yeah, it was a church fundraiser. My mom would make these eggs, and then what they would do is you'd order them for your family, and then they would use the icing to write your name on the top, like in cursive, like or calligraphy, like really fancy.
Put the crappy green plastic grass underneath them.
Yep, and put the crappy green. Yeah, and it was an Easter kind of a thing,
Yeah.
but it was always fudge. So I grew up like every year knowing I was going to get a fudge egg. I love fudge, man.
Man, you know what would be a great gift, and what reminded me of this is I heard on some podcasts like an Adam Schefter was trying to rise to his power that he is now in media, as far as like knowing so many people, that he would like send thank you like desserts, or like I forgot what it was, but it was some sort of dessert to all these people. It's like, hey, thanks for whatever meeting with me or whatever. It's like a sales technique to get them to remember you and build the relationships.
Sure.
Like sending a couple pieces of thank you fudge from Hollow Box. Like I need to get on this because
you're the fudging best.
Well,
think That's about what it says in the card.
Yeah. Think about a couple pieces of thank you fudge.
That's lovely, guys. So this is like one of the best things you've ever brought us. I wouldn't even have thought about that. That's phenomenal.
Where can you get this fudge?
At Hollerbox German Market at 117 South Magnolia in downtown Sanford.
There you go. This guy's not a sweetman. He went back for seconds. That's weird.
I know.
A little weird.
Because
I should save a little bit of this from when you guys have dispensaries downtown Sanford. It's like fudge is perfect for it.
I never have sugar, and it made me come alive.
Feel so alive now.
I felt what
I don't
happened.
know what this feeling is.
I caught him in the bathroom looking at art. He was like, I love this art. I've been fudged, man.
I was like, oh my God, that's good. I'm like, why is it so good? And
then you've been starving yourself.
Then I felt happiness. I was like,
what if you found
turn
fun?
My day around.
What if you found fun in fudge? You can't spell fudge without fun.
So let's talk about.
I'm gonna just finish mine and be a real piggo.
Oktoberfest coming up.
Yeah, getting ready for it already.
So we're going into August, and then I feel like next thing you know, it's gonna be fall, and
it's gonna be fall.
There's some Oktoberfest celebrations going on, so let's talk about those. I don't know if any of this has been announced yet.
So actually, Eric, you just put it online, I think.
Yep, October 14th through 16th at the Sanford Civic Center. We're locked in. It's going to be bigger than ever. We got a second stage.
Yes,
we got
a stage outside this year.
We're coming for that Disney spot. We got some magic payment wristbands that are going to help out with the line.
Awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
And the last few Oktoberfests, tell us about like what's going on. Usually, I know it's still in the planning phases, but
yeah, sure. Last year was our first year back. After we shut down for 2020.
Sure.
Yeah. So with that, it presented us a few new obstacles. One, we had to move the event because we used to do it right behind the restaurant. And just there's so much stuff going on in the town now that it just doesn't make sense for us to shut the street down. The theater's always got stuff going on. We don't want to cut access to them. So we wanted to,
that makes sense. Yeah.
We moved it 2 blocks pretty much, and we have the whole area to ourselves. It doesn't cost any businesses, street closures.
Nice.
There's a stage built in already, and we've got built-in rain protection. So awesome. It did rain one night, and we were still able to have the event because we had the stage inside and we brought the food inside. But we always have, the live polka music almost the whole time going. We did a beard contest last year. We're trying to peg down some of that kind of stuff now. The activities to fill in where the gaps in the music are. But always turkey legs, pretzels, brats, currywurst, all the traditional German food.
Currywurst, that stuff's rad.
Amazing polka bands too. That's kind of the heart of the festival. Getting those guys out there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys about that. And this is I don't want this question to come off at all being morbid, but is it harder to find these musicians? Because as I was thinking about this one day as I was driving around, most of the music that I was listening to on Spotify was like electronic. Not to say that there aren't people out there that still do like old world brass and playing wind instruments and playing polka, but is it harder for you guys to track down bands to play? Do you have to go out of state? Yeah. Like, do you have to have a master list of like musicians? How does that work?
All that.
Yeah, we actually just expanded to 7 days a week music at the restaurant, so that has been a challenge finding people to fill those days.
Yeah.
So we've got, I think we have some.
You guys jazz now too, right?
We have jazz now. Actually, on Thursday nights we have jazz upstairs and polka downstairs. So
that's awesome.
I'm gonna make it up there on a Thursday. I did it once, but I really just came there to stuff my face and do some comedy. But next time I'm gonna do the jazz.
Yeah.
With Andrea, we're going to go up and stay at the Tom and Dan house. We're going to walk over and eat. We're going to do a little jazz, make it a little romantic, and then I'm going to go back to the Tom and Dan house, and you know what
have some fudge.
Yeah, I'm going to do what everybody exactly. It's huge.
Chef Pat, Eric, thanks so much for coming by. We appreciate
you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll be telling you more about what's going on at Hollabox.
Indeed.
And we're going to be doing some stuff there as well. And there's new pins coming soon. So when you're...
We should do fudge pins.
I know we got some beer pins as the next pin.
The beerceptions, right?
Yeah. Beers holding beers.
Beers holding beers.
When those come in, just when you're eating there, ask your waiter or waitress about the Tom and Dan pin.
Indeed.
Or ask for Chef Pat. He's always around, and he's glad to come out and talk to you if you're a BM.
Gets me away from doing what I'm supposed to do, so please ask
for
me.
The code word now is emergency fudge. Say that, and Chef Pat will know exactly what you're talking about. Guys, thank you for coming in. It's always fun. Thank you for the fudge. It was delicious. We'll take a break and come back with more A Corporate Time right after this.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's do some voicemail.
Yeah, buddy. Voicemail messages, 2 ways to leave them. We have an app. It's totally free. It's not perfect, but it's totally free, and you can get it wherever you get your apps for your smartphone. It's for Android and iOS. And you can also call 1-844-TOM-NDAN. That's 1-844-TOM, the letter N-D-A-N, and leave us a voicemail message that way.
Also, you brought up a good idea. Now that Hollabox is doing, live music every night, that's a good date night if you want to, because our Airbnb is walking distance from Hollabox.
I mean, walking distance for people that don't even like to walk.
Yeah.
That's how close it is.
And book airtnd.com, and it's available most weekdays. And if you it's $125 a night for weekdays, and
super nice.
It also comes with a gift box with some koozies that you can only get there, and free potato pancake appetizer from Hollabox.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And some draft beers, buy one get one at Tuffy's and at West End. So you get a little gift box full of stuff. So you stay for the night, go to Hollabox for dinner, have some drinks at Tuffy's or West End.
Awesome.
good little Sanfording night.
Oh, yeah, man. And multiple places with music, too. I mean, Hollabox has jazz, then they got traditional German, so they've got, like, different music going on at the same time.
Oh, Tuffy's Music Box always has stuff going on. So even the weekdays, usually the weekends get booked up pretty quick, but you could find our Airbnb in the weekdays and make a night out of it.
Let's try this one. I believe that this is someone weighing in on the EJ or Canadian Josh. Like, now they're kind of enemies, I think.
Okay, all right.
So there seems to be like this rift in our community, in our listener community, not just BDMs, but like the entire listening community, where it's EJ versus Canadian Josh.
Gotcha.
Tom and Dan and Sam. Hey guys, it's Kenny. This isn't a Team EJ or Team Canadian Josh voicemail, but I think EJ's propensity for getting things wrong is infectious. Because in the last Nerd Jock, he kept saying Jesse's mom as the song when you guys were talking about Zach Wilson and kind of getting with someone's mom. It's not Jesse's mom, it's Stacy's mom, and you're thinking of Jesse's Girl by Rick Springfield. Like, not only did EJ kept saying Jesse's mom, it got everyone else on the show to keep saying
Jesse's mom.
Yeah.
Which is, again, wrong. And it's not that hard to Google and figure it out, guys. Really not that difficult.
Kenny, Kenny, don't be yelling at me. I don't listen to anything on this program. I listen to the things that I say. And if EJ's Jesse's mom, then I'm so stupid, I'll just be like, Jesse's mom, yeah, Jesse's mom. And I'll just, I don't listen to what he's saying.
It's also, and this gets me a lot, real dumb people, they are very confident in what they're saying. I do this. Yeah. That's how I know.
EJ is when he does trivia, he'll come in with an answer and he'll swoop in with the confidence of Michael Jordan playing preseason basketball.
And so they're so confident that you're like, wow, your first impression is like, well, it's got to be true. They don't say I don't know. They don't give you any sort of warning that they don't really know the answer. They're just making it up. They just say, oh, it's this. And then to get you to say it. Yeah. So when you yell at Jesse's mom, we're like, oh, yeah, Jesse's mom.
Yeah, of course, Jesse's mom. Yeah, sure.
They don't say, Jesse's mom. What is that?
Jesse's
is that
girl,
right?
Stacy's mom.
Yeah. No, but then they don't even question it. They just confidently say it.
Yeah.
And then it makes us say it.
Another EJ call.
Hey, EJ, this message is for you via Tom and Dan and Sam. So on episode 6 of Tom and Dan, the mediocre one, you called in. It might have been your first call-in, I don't know. You're the nerd about the show with the stats and everything. You called in and you talked about how your wife chokes you, so... Dude, give us news stories. Nobody's entertained by this thing that you do now once a month, or I hear you do it on your own. That's called masturbation, EJ. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, this is the second time that EJ has said he likes to be choked, or his wife likes to choke him.
Well, that was on a live show.
Yeah, this guy's saying on episode 6 of our show 11 years ago.
Oh, he said the same thing?
He said the same thing. So this is a pattern of sexual deviant behavior that Ennis has.
That's weird to me.
Deviant Ennis.
Because I feel he's such a nerd. I feel like he's not into anything.
The nerds, though, I feel
they like it rough and weird?
I mean, I guess we'd have to really talk to EJ, and then, maybe even more importantly, maybe we would have to talk to his wife and say, how does this go down? How does it happen?
She don't want to talk about it. She don't even want us to talk about it. She didn't want him to mention it twice.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Well, then why does he keep mentioning it? He must get something out of it.
Well, he wants to let everybody know.
It's like when people apologize for doing something bad, but then when they go into graphic detail about what they did, I always think you're only going into graphic detail about what you did because you liked it. You know what I mean? You don't need to give me the grit. But sometimes people do that, and I'm like, you're walking me through how horrible this is because you enjoyed it, and that's why you're doing this again. This is not a true apology.
I want to try this, but I feels like it would be awkward, and I'll start laughing. Or
your wife would start laughing first.
Yeah,
anything I go to do with my wife
choke
that's slightly
me like Homer Simpson.
Not like. Why would you choose choke me like Homer Simpson?
Well, that's what he's famous for.
choking?
Choking Bart Simpson.
Yeah, but that's not the type of choking you want. You don't want like cartoon killing my child. You want like some light pressure,
Well, that's what I mean. You would have to use both hands.
No, he does like don't, and he's like
Yeah, but I think they want it hard.
I think you work up to that. We'd have to talk to EJ.
But then I'm like, what? They were choking me, and I was like, my face is all Rogan down there.
You got a big red Rogan. Red Rogan.
And then I'm like, is this good? Like, what am I getting?
What is happening? Why would you ask her if this is good? Is you're supposed to know? Do you have any feelings whatsoever? Like, it would heighten your sexual arousal. So, like, if she's choking you, you would feel things.
It's like,
You're already laughing.
Well, like when the people that hang themselves and then
autoerotic asphyxiation,
the old David Carradine,
yeah. Hanging himself in a hotel closet with a vacuum cord.
There's got to be a reason why these people are doing this. It heightens something. It must be the lack of oxygen mixed in with the pleasure sensors.
I don't give many dentist guarantees. I gave you one this morning, but I'll give one right now. You will never find me in a hotel closet. hung by like a travel iron cord. I will never do that. That's a dentist guarantee. I'll never do that to my family. You'll never be like, oh, where Dan? Dan never came back from the Tom and Dan ski trip in Colorado. They flew to Colorado. Where's Dan? And then they open the closet of my Colorado hotel. There I am, hanging in my closet. Damn travel iron, got him again. I'll never do that.
What's weird to me is, I'm curious because it must be really better or that much better than regular because
nah, dude,
it's a lot of work.
I think this is 86 and 93 octane difference. I don't think this is a noticeable.
But it's a lot more work to get the iron out and then hang it above the closet.
I think a lot of that plays in, though. I think the process of doing it, the naughtiness of it, it's not what you're supposed to be doing. I think all that plays into it. I don't think it's just a feeling. I don't think just cutting off the air while you're climaxing, I don't feel like that is enough
difference than regular.
Yeah, I'm not to steal from you because I know you're that guy, and you and I see a lot of things alike. Even though I know that we're completely different in a lot of ways, there's a reason that we gravitate to each other. It's like both of us agree on some things, and I think it's a negotiable difference.
Because if you're telling me it's 15 to 20% better, I'm like, well, not worth the hassle,
right?
Or
the embarrassment, something could go wrong.
Oh yeah, it's good. People have died like this.
Yeah,
David Carradine,
Michael Hutchins from. In excess, he died. Autoerotic asphyxiation. I think I'm saying that.
But maybe it's they did it wrong or there's ways to do it safer. But I just want to know how much better is it, because if you're talking like 80% better or double, now we're talking something.
If somebody said, like,
double, I'm like, well, now we got to try it.
Yeah, if like people say like it's this will change your mind, or you'll never not want, like the
ayahuasca stuff. It piques my.
I think it's ayahuasca. Hiawatha is a little Indian boy, I believe. Ayahuasca, I don't know if I can say that.
But when people say like you'll never be the same after, or
I don't
your
want
personality,
that.
That makes me interested. It's like,
wow. Because what if I come out the other side and I'm worse than I am now? What if everybody's like, he's insufferable now that he did ayahuasca?
But it's always the only marketing I've heard is the good.
They lie though.
I don't know.
These people lie.
People that have nothing to gain from it.
Yeah, but it's human nature, I think, to go to something like when people go to a cleanse or they do a cleanse or a diet or something like that. I think it's human nature when people are like, how's that going? You're like, I never felt better. I'm amazing. It's amazing. It's changed my life. Like everybody says that, right?
Yeah, but then you see like these veterans with like PTSD that can't sleep at night, that suffer from anxiety, heart,
Well, anything's better than that. So throw some ayahuasca in me and it changes my life. Sure.
But then after they show their lives before and then after they're seemingly completely normal, and you can't just get over. You know anxiety.
Yeah, no,
you can't just you hide it.
True.
Like if you came to me,
I have it right now,
and did some laser treatment, and then you came to me, you're like, I'm no more anxiety.
You'd laugh in my face.
Well, I know that it's within a couple weeks.
You'd be able to tell that day. No, dude, I'm so transparent. You'd be able to tell by the end of the day whether or not. And you tell Crystal, you'd be like, Dan did this laser thing, and he came in today, and he was same as he's always been.
But when you see some of these guys that have horrible, debilitating PTSD, and then they show their lives after, and this is the complete act.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, they look like they've changed.
You're right.
Like, it's pretty amazing. Anyway, bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got Jana and Jason on the line.
Yeah, and you cannot stop looking at her adorable little hat.
How you guys doing?
Oh, I hit the wrong button. I went to go to you guys, and I went to an empty couch like you guys had disappeared. I apologize. You could be watching this on Twitch, twitch.tv/TomandDanLive.
StartLivingLucky.com. So, Jana, I noticed your painter's beret.
It is not. Is it a painter's beret?
Yeah. It's a fuzzy. It's kind of a furry little fuzzy.
Is that a kufi? Are you appropriating?
Yes.
What is that? What are you doing?
What is that? What did you just say? I don't know. But I was mentioning before we started that is a hat that I could never pull off ever.
It's an aggressive hat.
And everybody would laugh at me. Like if I wore that, if I came in here, you would laugh at me.
Okay,
Sam will definitely laugh at me.
Well, Sam laughs at everything we do.
But I'll bet $1 million Sam would laugh me out of this office if I came in wearing a beret.
Being serious about
she would never believe
I'm serious about my goddamn beret, Sam.
No, she would laugh.
Well, are you carrying an M16 when you're wearing the
That's
hat?
true.
How are you? Yeah. How are you portraying yourself, and what kind of confidence are you walking in with?
Yeah.
No, but it's just what
revolutionary.
In what situation could I wear that hat and get away with it?
The only situation of you wearing a beret is somebody puts a gun to your head and goes, "Put on beret."
What would be more ridiculous, a beret or a cowboy hat?
Beret.
A cowboy hat is equally as ridiculous.
Cowboy hat on you though. You just kind of look like you're at a hoodoo or so. You at a party.
No, but
you're at a Rossmeyer charity event.
Or
picture you in a cowboy hat, some Daisy Dukes, and some boots. Red boots.
A beret is a little bit more artsy and a little bit more feminine. So I'm leaning more towards cowpoke.
What about like Jason Mraz?
Fedora.
That's equally as ridiculous, right?
It goes like this. If you, in order of most likely to wear, cowboy, fedora, beret. That is my final answer.
All right.
I feel like you just called my hat ridiculous in front of me.
Well, for him.
No, for me.
For him. A lot of things are ridiculous for him.
Yeah.
The concept of washing his legs, that's ridiculous to him.
Yeah. Like if you're a jester, wear the bell hat.
Yeah, but if you're snowboarding and you put that on, then you're just a douchebag.
You're Dr. Seuss, I know that hat you're going to wear.
Yeah. But for
you can pull it off,
and you're
Jana.
artsy. You're very artsy, and you're very. You guys are world travelers, and you're younger than we are. So I feel like the beret, and also ladies, I feel like
are they younger?
I think they are younger.
We're older. I think we're older.
No.
Well, I mean, Dan, I'm the youngest here.
Of them? No. Jason's younger than you.
We're older than you two.
No.
I'm 46, so I'm the
46.
Elder. I'm the elder.
I thought you were 45.
Yeah. Well, I was. But I'm not anymore. Wow. I know. It's crazy.
All right, guys. What are you doing? What are you up to?
What are you doing other than wearing?
We just got back from vacation.
Well, I knew Jason last I heard Jason was in Spain. He was right? Wasn't he in Spain?
Yeah, well, that was work, and it was like a pilgrimage. So we got back from that, then we took a vacation.
We went to cousin camp, where it's just like all my cousins, and we meet in a house.
Family reunion.
I've seen that before. I've seen the videos of that.
I've seen that. We shouldn't be doing this. Mom and Dad won't even know.
I don't know if you.
And last time you let me honk your teeth. That's what he said.
It's real
he says,
popular.
Last time you let me honk your teeth. What's the difference? Let me see it.
Yeah.
It's way different.
Yeah, it is different.
So what is it?
We went to a remote area in Minnesota. Like we were off the grid type remote area. And we went, I meant to bring them to show you, but we actually went to folk school where we learned to basket weave.
You learn to basket weave at folk school.
Cousin camp.
At cousin camp.
You guys are getting crazier by the week. I love it. I love it.
Of all the vacations to go to,
cousin camp not on my list.
Yeah. To go to some remote area in Minnesota and learn how to weave baskets. It just seems like there's so many other things in this world to do.
But they've done it all, man.
Have you done it all?
When we lose Bitcoin, when we lose all currency and everything's wiped out, we're going to have something to fall back on.
Yes. And you'll fall back on the basket weaving because if there's one thing I know we're going to need, we're going to need baskets to carry around bullets and berries, leaves for structures.
Yeah.
A sand basket.
I feel like most of your time is just trying to baseline survive and weave in a basket. There's no time for basket. There'll be a pile of baskets at Walmart. I mean, they'll take all the food and ammunition, but they'll leave baskets. Like you can go to.
Not me though. I'm hoarding the baskets, and I'll be the basket king. You want a basket? You have to come track me down.
So, do you learn how to weave a whole basket?
Do you finish
in one day?
Or do they give you like a starter basket? Because I got a bone to pick with these basket men. Sometimes they'll give you like a starter basket where they've already started kind of that circular pattern, right? And they'll hand you that and they're, here, you use this, my friend. And I'm like, no. I want to start from scratch.
We had to start with newspapers, and we actually had to roll them to weave.
All kinds of life skills learned in this basket weaving.
So you're making trash baskets.
Roll the newspapers to see, to start the weaving
long,
process.
tight rolls.
So you were weaving.
So you could tell which cousins were like the dope smokers because they were like, oh, look at this.
They were good at it.
They were really, really good at it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm a dope smoker. So you had to weave paper trash into basket materials.
Yes, and this was like our entire week. Like we did.
Wow, that's grueling.
This is what happened. We stayed at this bed and breakfast, okay, and it was this manor. It was called a manor.
Trash.
In this house, the people that were running the bed and breakfast, they got COVID. So next thing
I shouldn't laugh that hard at that. Wow.
This is straight out of like a Chevy Chase vacation.
Yeah, this is like the Burbs meets Chevy Chase Vacation.
I'm gonna start laughing at everybody who gets COVID. I'm gonna laugh out loud.
Yeah, Tony Rage. Tony Rage just hit me.
Jeff Howe.
I didn't mean to laugh at it. It just, here's what happened is we aren't used to running a bed and breakfast. And so
wait a minute. Can you pause for 1 second? Please pause. Because I hope you, first of all, first thing I want to get out there is that when we do call you crazy, I hope you know that that's meant with love and that we love you. I just want to get that out there, okay? I don't want you to feel like this is any way we're judging you in a bad way, because you know that we're crazy. We just sometimes when you associate with us, I feel bad for you associating with us because we're so crazy. But then you say things like this, and then I'm like, oh, they're meant to be. So who told you that you were taking over? Because we never got there. You just said that they got COVID, and then you guys decided to take over the bed and breakfast.
Well, so this is the situation. So you're out in the middle of nowhere. You're in this house. I don't know if you've seen the movie Knives Out, but it's a house very similar to that. So like 9 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms. You're expecting to have all your meals cooked because it's a bed and breakfast. You're in the middle of nowhere, and the proprietors of the house have now got COVID. So the food's there. The kitchen is like this big, huge gourmet kitchen with a commercial setup.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
And so
someone's got to take control.
So next thing you know, Jason and I are like, we're in the kitchen trying to follow these recipes, and they're like souffles. And Dutch babies.
Dutch babies are hard to make.
20 poached eggs at a time.
I mean, I'm doing this commercial poach pocket that I've never poached an egg in my life.
Yeah, me neither. Well, I've never made a Dutch baby either. They're hard.
Well, can't you just do the regular, some like eggy bakey?
Yeah, why don't you swing through an Einstein's?
Well, I'm just saying, like, you don't have to.
We did some waffles. We did some pancakes. I mean, it was.
But even the waffles, I mean, we didn't know how to make the batter. And I mean, these were like really complicated recipes.
And it wasn't like, and there was it was like a recipe for this handmade whipped cream.
I love handmade whipped cream.
The cream, and you got to whip it.
No, that's how Andrea and Maisie make whipped cream for their key lime pie. We make all of our own sauces and creams now because we love cooking. So we make our own whipped cream. And my wife hates whipped cream, but she loves when we make our own whipped cream because it just tastes different. It's way better, dude. Everything you make yourself is way better.
How much better?
100%.
100%?
Yeah. Because it doesn't, like whipped cream in a can, it has like a filmy.
Wait a minute, it's 100% better?
It has like a filmy taste. It has like almost like it's like an oil.
Like plastic and poison.
Yeah. Yeah, like plastic and poison. Yeah. You know.
I mean, yeah. I thought that's what you get. Get what you get. So, Jana, Jason, you were making food for the other Airbnb guests
and for the COVID people?
Well, it was our whole family, so we didn't. It wasn't just Jana and I, but it was a lot of us.
There was like okay, so they had a rule that you had to take off your shoes when you entered the house. Now we only saw our family, but we had 20.
There was a lot of pairs of shoes for just.
We
our
had
family.
like 20-something members of our family there, but there was probably 100 pairs of shoes, and I'm like, where are all the people? Where are all the people? Yeah. And let me just tell you, there was something weird about this manor because it was half finished. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there were
like all the graves weren't
like
done.
My kitchen. It's called Lazy Podcaster.
There were wedding dresses just like stacked. And there were rooms where there was just junk of like doll heads.
Oh, I love doll heads.
And
what? Oh, this is a haunted house movie.
So you guys come. You show up at the haunted house. I'm guessing it's storming. Your family shows up. The caretakers of the mansion say, "We have COVID. You got to cook for us." They were trying to kill you.
Well, yeah, this is the perfect setup to.
This is that Dan Aykroyd movie where they have to stay in the mansion to get the $1 million.
Yeah. And then you all have to stay in the mansion, and then
you have to spend one night in the spooky manor. And if you can make it out alive, then you win the $1,000,000 shoes.
And then you go from room to room. You find the doll room, and then you find the room with all the trinkets, and then
you find the wedding dress ghost room.
Yeah. Bingo bongo. There's little clues that tell you where to go to find the treasure.
And then at the end, you realize that it was one of your family member that was extra ignored and extra lonely that had created this entire crazy scenario in order to make you guys like them more. And they're just misunderstood.
So why did it have a doll room? Why did it have doll room and other weirdo things?
I'm telling you, there was something really.
I don't even think we saw them to say goodbye to them.
There
was isolation and we're out.
There was something off. There was something off about this house, and we all felt it. We all knew it. And my sister even said, "Do you think there's cameras around here?" And they're upstairs watching us because it felt like.
Wait, the COVID people?
It felt like they would just pop up. I don't know what's that movie where.
It's always the eyes in the painting, right? That's where they hide, right?
Yeah, man, they follow you.
So
let me get this straight. Your entire family went to a spooky manor. The caretakers said they had COVID. They retired upstairs to their camera room where they watched and masturbated to your entire family making Southern delights. So your family cooked all these Southern delights while the caretakers masturbated in their main bedroom. Okay, this sounds like a typical normal.
Confirm nor deny what was happening behind closed doors.
Yeah, that's fantastic. This isn't terrifying at all.
So back to cousin camp. Is this something someone else puts on, or did you guys organize it like a family retreat? How does it work?
We started doing this when I was a kid, and it was just a way for my cousins and my sisters to kind of get together and play. And our parents would provide us a place to just go, and usually it was a house somewhere, and we wouldn't have much to do, but we could use our imaginations.
I love
And we
that.
brought it
Like
back a couple years ago
I feel
here.
like, and now before you crap all over this,
I'm not wrong.
I would like to say that I miss this. I feel like there's a detachment from my dad's brother and his family.
Yeah.
That I used to have. Like, we used to go up to Virginia. I used to see all my relatives. And since mom and dad have passed, and since I'm like orphaned now and I have my own family kind of doing my thing here in Orlando, I do think that these type of trips, and I see your family do it a lot, Tom, and hearing the Shelfers do it, kind of has inspired me to, I need to do more about being better about reaching out to the people in my family that I don't see. I really need to work on that. I am not good at it. I don't do a good job on it. This cousin camp, getting together with family that I don't see a lot, as much as I'd love to make fun of this and crap all over it, I think it's really cool. I think I hope you guys know that that's genuine. Like, I really feel like I should.
No, we had this conversation, but it's a 3-day thing. It's not a week-long thing.
And here's the thing.
Oh, too long? It was too long?
We all get so excited that everybody starts wanting to plan next year's trip. And everybody's like, oh, next year we should go overseas, or we should, rent a yacht. And to be honest with you, after 3 days, you're kind of like, I'm really tired of Uncle Charlie's.
Yeah, it's like,
touching
let's
my
just
legs.
catch up real quick. That's what I think. This is really what Thanksgiving is supposed to be for.
Yeah,
I wish that Aunt Marty's cat would stop crapping in my beret.
Well, okay, I'm all about spending time with family and all that, but
oh my god, she's got a dog.
The
dolls are here.
I would rather pick a place where there's other things to do, not in the middle of nowhere
where there's nothing to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Minnesota, where there's nowhere to go, there's no nightlife, there's no usually you pick an area.
You love a good discotheque.
Well, no, I'm just saying you pick a resort or some sort of hotels that are near things.
Too expensive, man. They're trying to save money.
Yeah, but there's Airbnbs everywhere now. Like, you can find Airbnb mansions anywhere, and places that are next to things to do.
Like water park.
Yeah. Just somewhere.
I love a water park.
Somewhere to get out of the house, because inevitably you get bored with your family, and then they start wanting to play board games and other stuff. Then you start getting to know.
Uncle Charlie's trying to show you all of his QAnon YouTube videos. I don't have time for this.
Exactly. They're showing you the conspiracy theories.
That's part of it.
Are they broadcasting this?
I know.
Was this really what I was like? You gotta watch these
board games and singing songs, and we were doing crafts and
campfires.
We were making skits.
Campfires and
skits.
Skits.
That's part of it.
This is Tom's greatest nightmare. Is cousin camp skits,
wedding dresses, and paintball.
Tom hates skits. He hates skits. Hates them.
I hate crafts.
You do. Which you hate more, crafts or skits?
Skits. I hate skits more.
Really?
Crafts, can sit there quietly and just make my basket. As long as I'm high or drunk or that. And that's another thing I was going to mention.
Were you guys high or drunk?
Like, on these type of things, usually when I'm hanging out with family or doing family stuff,
you can numb yourself.
I start hitting the booze. I'm 10:30, 10:45.
Oh, are you crazy? I drink one with breakfast. I start with mimosas and then I sneak into beers.
Yeah. Well, that's I'll pop a edible early, right when I wake up. I won't even before I brush my teeth. You brush the edible off. And
exactly, you got to do 20 milligrams, a little piece of cheese to activate it, a cup of coffee, and then 5 beers.
Yeah. And then I'm just numb and kind of out of it the entire time that I'm there. So is everybody dead sober? Are you partying? What's going on?
Like Bob Ross crafty.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Like happy little squirrels.
Yeah, things can, if you make a mistake, just turn it into a cloud. It's fine.
Or is it like religious family and they frown upon drinking and day drinking?
Some people, it's like religious family. They're like, at 10:30, we do a 2-hour prayer. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God.
No, it as the days went on, people started drinking earlier and earlier and earlier.
Yeah,
yes.
Any dust-ups, any fights?
Yeah, because then you get drunk.
It got to the point where people started, they would go to the room and shut the door and be like, oh my gosh, if Jeanette doesn't stop, worrying, or if she doesn't stop complaining, and people start getting.
I'm gonna kill her.
Get a little catty. They get a little catty, but that's okay.
I'm gonna stick her in the room with the doll heads.
Yeah, that's all family. That's all family. Did you guys sneak off to the doll head room, and play,
No, but we tried on the wedding dresses. That was kind of fun. That was kind of
so tight.
Now, let me ask you this. So I've noticed in family get-togethers throughout the years that you can get by for the first hours with small talk.
Catch up.
Yeah, catch up and small talk and stuff. But then after that, inevitably, someone wants to bring up, and nowadays it's even more prevalent because everything's politicized, but someone wants to bring up something politicized, and it could be as simple as vaccinations or what I'm saying? Yeah. Something that wouldn't be politicized a long time ago, or you're talking about Republican and Democrat. Now we're talking, everything's politicized. Everything. So did that happen? And then you have to awkward or try to switch the subject? Because I know I've become very good at learning how to take the subject and transition it to something that can't be politicized.
I'll do the worst thing. Wow. I'll do the absolute worst thing that I could do with me in the scenario. I'll say, guys, we're not going to talk about this right now. I will blatantly say it to the adults there. I'll be like, we are not doing this right now.
Oh, no, it's too awkward for me.
I know it is, but I will do it. I will shut the room down.
Start talking about vaccines. I'll give you an example.
Okay. Hey, did you hear? They're asking for another goddamn booster. A fourth booster.
Oh, yeah.
How many boosters am I going to need? My dog gets his shots every single year. You ever seen him get a goddamn parvo booster? Ever seen a parvo booster?
Yeah. No, I know.
You got another thing coming. That's from another show.
Then I'm like, there were vaccines. I saw this tetanus vaccine that they were promoting at Publix. It was weird, of all the things to promote. Then at the bottom, there was a picture of a person's foot stepping on a bunch of tacks. And that was like the part of the clip art they used.
Tacks, they're attacking our freedom, I'll tell you that.
Anyway,
that's what you need.
I'm just going to start talking in circles until you realize you
don't know anything.
Or that I'm going to act like an idiot. And then the person will be like, well, I don't want to talk to this idiot. He is not giving me what I want, which is opposing opinion or more of the same.
Why don't you just ask for money? That usually shuts people up.
Oh, that's quick. A good one, actually. That's really quick. You're like,
too awkward.
Let me get 5,000.
But did you have to deal with politics at the old cousin family reunion?
There's always a little bit of that. I feel like more so though. People have different values.
Okay.
Did you find that came out? Like, there's one family that's extremely active, and they value exercise and health. And then there's
the
another
fat
family.
We know how you feel about those.
And then there's the chubbies.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, more pie. We want pie.
More pie. Oh, no.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know. I've heard of
more
these.
pie.
There's judgment pie there. And so it's kind of like, you try to walk that fine line of...
Yeah, do you tell them or you're like, maybe you don't need more pie? And they're like, but I want the pie. And then, oh, boy.
But hey, I wanted to run this by you.
Okay.
This happened on the way there, and I wanted to get your opinions on this. We were in the airplane, and Jason was sitting on the very front row on the aisle seat. And he had one of those seats where the little TV comes out of the armrest and it pops up and you can watch movies.
Oh, the foldable TV. Oh, that's a fancy flight if you got the foldable TV.
Well, you were sitting in like an emergency exit row or at the front, what is it called? A bulkhead?
Yeah. And so he picks a movie. I'm asleep. And I happen to just open my eye right at a scene.
Yeah, what's he watching? Showgirls again for the 100th time. This MFer's got Showgirls on. That movie is 2001.
So it was a hardcore sex scene.
It's like a steamy, hardcore sex scene.
I knew
it. And he's like right in the front where everybody can see this.
Yeah, dude is watching a Serbian film.
What was it? What was the movie?
I don't remember the name of it. It was something like Every Last One or something. It was one of those where it was
Every Last One. I'm gonna F every last
sex with somebody, and then so she's a stripper. She's having sex with somebody, and then she's getting raped later.
It turned into
that sounds great. That's a perfect plane flight.
On the front row of this airplane, and my husband's watching this rape scene, and I'm like, I don't think this is appropriate. Like this feels.
You
wrong.
can only watch. It is a
really
rule
wrong.
that you can only watch rape scenes in JetBlue extra room seats.
Now, there are these like social media videos where someone's like
caught a pervert red-handed. It's some grandpa at a Payless shoe store, and he's on X videos and some person videos. Leave those people alone.
Yeah, well, they do it on planes too, where the person like from the opposite aisle, one row back, it can see your screen and you're watching Pornhub, and they zoom in on it, and there's some guy watching Pornhub, and I do feel like that person has balls to watch pornography on a plane.
Here's what I do. I will watch
packed in there.
I'll watch pornography wherever I want, but if you call me on it, just understand that the entire flight, I will not put my phone away and stare at you the entire flight. The entire flight. I'll never stop staring at you.
So what would you guys do? Would you continue watching it, or would you? I mean, because when you're on an Orlando flight, there's always kids, right? There's always kids behind you.
Okay. If they offer it as a option on the plane, then I feel like it's fine.
Pornography?
No. I'm talking like
I was gonna say, I'll fly again. Suddenly, I don't have a fear of flying.
Any movie that has a sex scene or any of that, if they offer that as an option, as like one of the new releases to watch,
that's
or
their
whatever,
fault. They should edit that.
Then I feel you're perfectly fine. It's like the airline offers this. I'm watching what they offered. Now, if you're watching your own Serbian film or whatever you brought it.
Your wife from the night before or something,
or anything,
whole movie.
Then I feel like it's inappropriate.
You just burped, and I just farted, and I can't concentrate anymore. The whole room smells like garbage now.
So I feel like it's fine if Jason picked it. God, why would you do this?
I don't know.
Why would you do
we gotta go too because we have a comedian on the line.
Sorry.
Plug some stuff.
Startlivinglucky.com. So
I'm sorry we're so crazy today.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's awesome. Love you guys.
More
Thank
pie.
you so much.
I want more pie.
And watch Jana and Jason and everything they do on social media and Start Living Lucky.
Yeah, they might be able to help you out, maybe help you turn things around and pivot a bit. Guys, we love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Love you so much. Thank you.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
See ya. Good, doll. See ya. That is Jana and Jason Shelfer. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We got a guest on the line.
Yeah, this is awesome, man, because I don't believe we've ever talked to this particular gentleman.
Yep. He's going to be the Improv. One show Friday, 2 shows Saturday, 1 show Sunday. And you can get your tickets at theimprovorlando.com. And we got comedian Delay on the line. How you doing, Delay?
I'm glad you asked. Tom, Dan, it's hot. It's hot in Orlando.
Are you already in town?
They should pay y'all extra for living in this, man. This ain't normal.
See, I love it. I love the humidity. I love how hot it is. I don't like being cold. And I think I like marijuana so much, and marijuana makes me cold. So this is the right spot. If you like marijuana, and I think you might, for whatever reason, the heat doesn't bother me as much.
Wait a minute. Am I missing something, Dan? Is marijuana legal in Florida?
It is. Well, medically. And I got my card because I suffer from all kinds of horrible things.
Yeah. I got flat foot. I don't know if that helped, but my feet are flat.
Oh, mine are the flattest. You'll have to beat mine then.
There's no more delay. There's no more pretending you even have to have some sort of ailment. You just go to the doctor. Whichever one, and they give it to you.
Yeah,
you pay the fee, and they give it to you.
I was just on a dispensary website before we talked to you. So, we have had medical for about 7 years now, I think. 6 or 7 years now.
I am proud of y'all, Florida. I am really proud of y'all. Now, y'all do a lot of wild stuff in the news, but this covers up. This makes up for a lot of the mishaps that's been going on in the community in Florida, with y'all legalizing it. Hey, man, I want to talk to the mayor.
Yeah, we need some. We need a recreational. We need a recreational though. We need what you got.
That's what I want to talk to him about.
It'll well, the mayor probably can. Old Buddy Dyer, we know. But I feel like it's just a matter of time. We've talked about it before, but I read somewhere that the next time, the next ballot, it may be, it's one of those things. Right now, it's fine. You pay the little extra for the medical card, and then you get whatever you want. So I'm happy the way it is. It's no big deal.
It's fine.
So, D-Lay, tell us a little about yourself. How did you start? Give us kind of a background.
Well, I heard one story about him. I heard that the original story, maybe you can tell us this one, of how you got into comedy. Is it true that it was because you got your heart broken?
She must have told you that.
No, I watched a lot of interviews with you this morning. Tom and I were doing our due diligence, and I watched one. You were sitting with a particular beautiful lady, and you were telling her a story about how you got your heart broken, and that's how you maybe wandered your way into comedy.
Yeah, that's what opened me up. And if you ever, you're in a place where you feel like you need to be opened up, just go meet a woman and get your heart broken. And that'll open up the gates quicker than anything. So after that heartbreak, I decided to just be open and just be more vocal. And how I started comedy was crazy, man. I used to be a blackjack dealer. I was a blackjack dealer in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
No way.
And they fired me. That's a good way to look for a job when one fires you. So they had to fire me, guys. They had to fire me. I was too giving. I'm giving away the money. The house doesn't want you to give away the money like that.
Hold on, D-Lay. Okay, let me talk to you about this because how did they teach you or train you to learn how someone was counting cards? I'm curious about this. I'm sure they taught you how to pick up those things or no, or it's just like, here's the job. We'll see that on the cameras.
They don't teach you, but as a dealer, if you've been dealing for a while, you learn. Because I was a card counter as well. And let me just give you guys this.
Yeah. Okay.
And for the audience, the way to determine a card counter is, let's say I'm the dealer. If I'm putting out the cards, and I'm watching you, and you are watching everybody's hand. You watching every card that comes out, everything that comes. Why are you watching everybody's hand, sir? Focus on your hand. He's a card counter. However, I would never tell on him. Guys, I'm not telling you. I want you to win all of this money. Count the hell out of these cards.
I like that. I wonder if that is more prevalent because we all, I like gambling a lot. So I've been reading books about it and I'm fascinated with card counters and how to get an edge.
Yeah.
And, they talk.
Tom, let me stop you.
Okay.
You're not a gambler. Stop it. Knock it off. You like gambling. D-Lay is a gambler. You know how I'm a gambler? I lived in Las Vegas. I bet on the weather. I bet that it was going to rain one day. You can bet on the weather during the Super Bowl. I bet that it was going to rain. It had a 100% chance of raining. It got cloudy, very gloomy. Soon as the kickoff started, a bright, sunshiny day just presented itself.
Oh, man.
And I lost $100 on weather.
I like that. But now you thought you had I could tell you're a gambler. You thought you had an edge. You bet on the rain. Listen,
yes.
You only can. If you're the best in the world, you're 55%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
that's right.
That's
right.
So
that's right, Tom.
You're gonna lose. People think if you're a really good gambler or a bettor, you win the majority of the time. That's not. You're 55%. So back to my theory about people that work at casinos. I do think well, these people, they work for a giant company. They probably hate them, just like anybody working for a giant corporation. They not that they hate them. They're just they pay me too little. I work too many hours.
It's a hard job.
So they're probably not motivated to rat on people trying to steal the company's money because what do they care? They're good for them. Whatever. Who cares?
Take it all. Take the felt off the table if you can get away with it from surveillance. Take it all. I don't care. I call myself, guys, the Robin Hood of dealers. I couldn't wait to give all the money away to the community.
Now, I bet you have to be careful because I bet they are watching to make sure the dealers aren't working with the customers to try to work together.
In cahoots. How long did you do this for, D-Lay?
I dealt in Louisiana. I started off in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at the Casino Rouge. I dealt there for 2 years, for 3 years, and then I moved to Vegas when I started pursuing my comedy career. And I started off dealing at Main Street Station, moved on to the Hilton Hotel, and ultimately the final stop was the Wynn Resort Casino. Nice. I talk about this a lot in my book. Y'all don't even know this, Dan, Tom. I'm a whole author out here in these streets. They thinking I'm just a comedian. Man, I got a lot of hats. I'm a whole published author out here.
What's your book? I wrote it down. Yeah, he's got a brand new book out. You can check it out on his website. You can get it. Now, is it audio as well?
I'm glad you asked, Dan. You asked some amazing questions. It is audio. I know there's some people that don't want to read, so I made sure that I made it feasible for them as well. Those guys as well. Yes, you can go and you can get it off the website. If you want an autographed copy, go to itsdelay.com.
You should grab it.
They do have it on Amazon, but Amazon is ripping me a brand new one with how they're doing it.
Well, yeah.
So I implore you to go to my website, itsdelay.com, for the autographed copy.
Yeah, itsdelay.com. Yeah, very easy to find. You just type it into your old browser, and it'll pop right up, and there's all kinds of stuff you can purchase on there.
Well, I like a good audiobook. What is in there, Delay? Tell us about it.
I am glad you asked. You guys should be journalists. You guys are awesome. My audiobook, it's a little bit different from the regular book. It's some of the same stories, but I expand on them a little bit more. The story, my life story, is from the beginning of from my start to my teenage years and to me starting comedy. It's a roller coaster of emotions, guys. I know you see comedians and you read that book, it's like, oh, it's going to be happy. You're going to laugh, Tom. You're going to cry. You're going to be upset. But at the end, you're going to be rooting for me because it's a come from behind story. It's one of those stories you root for the guy. You're like, you know what? I feel like Forrest Gump. If you read my book and you look at some of the stuff that I went through, you're like, wow, him and Forrest actually have a lot in common.
I'll check it out.
Wait, did you just start running one day and then not stop?
You seem like you have a higher IQ than Forrest, but I don't want to dip my toe into things that could get me into trouble. But you seem
you just start running one day. Yeah. It's hilarious.
You seem very smart and like your mother did not have AIDS, or your girlfriend. It was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Girlfriend had AIDS.
Delay.
Stay away from the AIDS, Delay.
So,
but I did have a woman break my heart named Jenny.
Yeah, okay, that counts.
So, right off the bat, Delay, I could tell that you're a talker. And
dude, can you imagine getting this guy as your dealer?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'd never leave the table. Like, if he's giving money, I'd be happy. But
you can make good money as a dealer from tips if people, especially people are winning.
Like spot on.
Like a lot of times, I sit down on a blackjack table at a cruise, and it's some Russian lady that barely speaks any English.
A lot of times they're not allowed.
And she's stone cold, and you make jokes or whatever. She is not.
Insurance.
yeah. And
I want to tell you who my nemesis dealer was. And she worked at the Bellagio. I would go there. And as a gambler, when you lose so much, then it becomes personal. You says, you know what? I don't even care about the money. I want to beat this dealer. And my dealer name was Ming Lee. Ming Lee beat the hell out of me for 5 years straight. I know I lost about $50,000 just to Ming Lee, just to her. Jeez. And I probably won about $10 total out of everything, out of 5 years. Ming Lee never spoke. She wasn't happy about her job. She put the cards down. She didn't say, clap off, leave. No verbal communication. Everything is hand signals with Ming Lee. Because the dealer, when the dealer is going, the dealer can't hear. So that's the notion of it as a dealer. So when you saying, hey, give me a hit me. And as a dealer, you put the card out, you could be in trouble because surveillance can't hear audio. So when I say hit me, you're supposed to go off hand signals.
Yeah, you're supposed to
that's
go
when
hands.
the dealer goes off hand signals.
Yeah. So that's why they yell at you.
Get over on a dealer by just saying, hey, I didn't ask for that hit. I mean, that's just some inside tips if you're on some, on a down streak and losing.
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
Hey, I've noticed that sometimes they'll get on you. They'll be like, I need you to, they're very proper about the way they want you to,
So, D-Lay, let me ask you this, because you're a blackjack player, and to my knowledge, like, if you play by the book, then you've got close to a 50-50 chance of winning, and the only way to tip that edge towards yourself is by card counting, right? And that's it, right? It's like you play by the book or you card count is the best chance to win at blackjack. All these other people that have these feelings and these other strategies or whatever, it's ridiculous because it's by the book or card counting only way to win. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right. And I'll give you this. When you count cards, it only increases your odds by 2%. So you're going through a lot of brain memory and a lot of brain activity to try to keep up with these numbers only for a small percentage. However, I mean, you get a streak a deck when it's a plus 10 deck, you can run amok. You could actually run amok.
Yeah. Well, because then you know by card counting when the run's coming in. But that's how.
In play, sure.
But that's also how they catch you because you start changing your bet sizes, and then they know your card counting. Even off of that, they're like, "Why is this guy all of a sudden
too much
betting 4 times what he was betting out of nowhere?"
Now we're talking about gambling.
Sorry.
No, this is great because we're not going to shift. Normally, I would try to pull us off gambling because he has a problem. But I'm not. We're going to stay on gambling because this is important. You are doing something. I think that one of the most risky things I've ever heard of a man doing. And Tom, you knew how hard it was for you to find a barber and get your hair right.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm watching him live. I'm watching Delay live. And first thing he says in his live stream, he's like, "Hey guys, I'm going to be in Orlando. I lined me up a barber. I got a lady in Orlando that's going to give me the fresh cut, make me look good for the night." Now, first of all, I don't want to put this person on blast or anything, but it is interesting to me. Do you go, when you go on tour, do you go to different cities and find a new barber in the city so you get laced up right? Is that what you do? Because I think that is a very dangerous game, my friend, because you could end up looking like Tom looked about 5 years ago. He had the D-head haircut, had his hair cut like an actual, he looked like a D.
He can't have that.
He looked like a,
it's not, he can't have the same.
So is that what you do?
That's exactly what I do. What I'll do is I'll go to your Instagram page. Now, you got to be careful, guys, because people can be whoever they perceive themselves to be on social media. You want to consider yourself a top-notch master barber? All you have to do is put it in the bio.
Yeah.
All you have to do is put it in the bio. Who could tell you no? Who could tell you that you're not a master barber? So I would go in and I would just look at the bio. Again, it is very dangerous. It's still risky. Now, let me tell you about the last city I went to. The last city I got a miscellaneous anonymous haircut was in Detroit. Now, this barber, I knew it was going to be bad about 30 seconds into him cutting my hair.
Uh-oh.
It was bad because he's just cutting. I didn't tell him anything.
That's bad.
I didn't describe to him how I wanted it cut. He just started cutting it. And I was like, does he know me this well to just cut my hair in just style I want? No, he didn't. He cut my hair, first of all, for 1 hour and 50 minutes. That's longer than a motion picture. That's way too long for a haircut.
Yeah.
Lastly, second, he never let me see my hair cut in the mirror. That's what barbers would normally turn you periodically through your cut. So you can see, hey, listen, I'm not messing you up. You can see I'm doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, some proof.
He never let me see my hair the whole time, the whole hour 45. When he finished, he cut my hair into a front mullet. Like this was back. He put a front mullet. You know, the mullet usually go down the neck.
Yeah.
He put my mullet down on my forehead. I didn't know my hair could come that far. He had all this was shaved. All this is shaved, and it's just a front mullet.
Party in the front?
Party in the front. I've never heard of that.
Party in the front.
I've never heard of that. And you know what? Maybe with white guys, but I've never. I mean, I didn't even know you could do that with a black guy. Like, I didn't know. Why would you even do that? It's not stylized.
Was he clowning you?
He was clowning you.
No, this man handed me the mirror with all the confidence in the world as if he had just put together a Michelangelo. He says, look at this.
A Michelangelo, literally a masterpiece.
He handed it to me like, wait till you get a load of this.
I'm surprised that you still are doing this tradition after that.
He's a risky man.
I always like my fans know something. I always pride myself in having a nice haircut. So if I'm on stage and I'm wearing a hat, I'm hat fishing. If I'm out there hat fishing, that means I got a bad haircut.
Interesting.
If you see me with a hat, you got catfishing, that means you're appearing to be somebody else, and you got hat fishing. You know, a lot of guys that are bald are hat fishers.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah, they wear it like it's an accessory. They wear the hat like it's an accessory.
Interesting. Hey, you got 246,000 people that are following you on TikTok. What is that to you? Is it anything? Do you enjoy it? Explain TikTok. I mean, we're
can
on
you
there.
make any money?
Yeah.
We got into TikTok a while ago. We're doing the whole thing. It's good to see. But we have a lot of friends that have a lot of followers, and they really don't know what to do with it. They're like, this means, I got 100,000 followers. Like they show me, they're like, I make $19 a month, off some ads and like that, but that's it. It's weird.
I always tell people this. Again, guys, I wear a lot of hats. I have a mentorship program called PTTP, and it's for young and inspiring comedians. It's called Putting Together the Pieces. And I help comedians monetize their social media on top of breaking down their sets and punching up their sets for them.
That's cool.
I think the main thing that people need to know when it comes to social media is you got to put out consistent content. You have to constantly put out content. And I always use this reference. Let's say you, Dan, you went to MTV and you saw something on the MTV network and you watch it and you thought it was an hour programming and you thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, I'm gonna go back tomorrow and see if I can see that show again. You go back tomorrow, you don't see that show. You're like, whoa, what happened to that show? Well, it doesn't matter. Let me go over to the NBC network. And that's the same thing. We're all our own brands. If D-Lay has a page and I'm not putting out content and I'm not putting out relevant content and consistently, Dan, you're going to leave. You're going to go to somebody else who's putting it out.
Sure. Yeah.
You're not going to just keep coming back and tuning in to a show that you're not sure if it's going to be there. And people want consistency. Audiences want consistency. Brands want consistency. And once you start putting in that consistent flow of putting out material, then you'll be able to monetize. You'll grow your audience. I just kind of put everything in a nutshell, but basically consistency is what grows your page and gets you monetized.
Yeah, because
well, then we're on the right track.
That will get engagement, and with engagement, then you have advertising power, and with advertising power, you get money. Something like that, right?
Exactly.
D-Lay, it's a breath of fresh air to talk to you because I
know what you're gonna say.
You're motivated.
Yeah.
It seems like you want it. It seems like you've got a crazy motor. You're doing a bunch of things. Like you are excited about talking, and which is like
it's hard sometimes.
And no offense to other comedians and stuff. Sometimes they just get beaten down by the media circuit and the road, and then after so many years, they just don't want to do it anymore. Like you can tell.
All of his videos, he's like, "Hey, I'm excited to be alive." Which I get this.
Maybe
vibe.
it's youth. Maybe it's youth.
Gentlemen, let me tell you where that comes from. Gentlemen, I want to share with you guys real quick where that comes from.
Please.
Now, if you read my book, The Journey Behind the Smile, I discussed my childhood, my upbringing, and what all those things that led to who I am now. I had a very rough and difficult life. Tom, my life was rough growing up in the area I grew up. I always say this: if they write another Bible, I'm gonna get a chapter. You're gonna have to give D-Lay a chapter. So Job had a chapter.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to have a D-Lay chapter.
I think
you gotta have one.
I think they could do that.
So, did that make you into the person you are? That gave you the grit, the motivation? Because I've been going back and forth. Is that something you learn, or is that something that's internal?
I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. Your circumstances can make you, and you still have to have the mentality and the wherewithal to say, you know what, I want this for myself. I think a lot of times we don't know what we want. A lot of times we don't know what we want and we feel like we're stuck in life. We're just we're walking in place. But I make it a point every day to enjoy life because I didn't start off. My start was rough. Again, I said, if they write a Bible, I'm getting a chapter. So I look at every day. I look at every opportunity. I look at every platform, every interview as it's a group of people that don't know who I am. They have no idea who I am. And I want to make this a fresh memory for them. And I want them to see that, wow, this is something different about this guy. Well, because it's something different. And no, I'm not crazy. And you know what? Maybe I am crazy. Maybe I am crazy. Okay. And if I am, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Hey, you won us over, man, and I hope next time you're in town that we can get you in the studio and we can hang out a little bit more, but you can go see him. One show on Friday, I believe that's the 7:30, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. Go check out his book. It's D-Lay is the website. D-Lay, The Journey Behind the Smile is the book. grab that audiobook. Hey, man, thank you so much for the time. This is really, really fun. And I'm honestly, if you get back in here or you want to ever come in the studio, let us know. We'll get you in here. It'll be super fun.
I sure will. Tom and Dan, I thank y'all for having me, man.
All right, man.
Thank you, D-Lay.
Be well. Enjoy Orlando.
Yes, thank you.
See you, man. Right, be good. That is D-Lay. I keep wanting to say like a last name.
No.
But there's no last name. It's just D-Lay.
Great guy, man.
Yeah,
I like his energy. You know what I'm saying?
Is one more comedian that we've had in here that will tell us that they had a hard upbringing where they took that and they took all of that difficult and all that grit and all that, and they stuffed it into themselves and made a motor. And they said, this is a perpetual motor that will never turn off, and now I'm going to work, and whatever it was that was supposedly going to hold me back in my childhood will not hold me back now, and I will accomplish anything I want to do.
Yeah, but what my theory is he was born with that motor, and the hard upbringing was just
it just made him recognize that it was always there?
Well, it was high-octane fuel for the motor.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that motor, because lots of people have hard upbringings, and guess what? They end up at the same place.
Or dead early.
Or they're just like, well, I'm here, and there's generation. And so it's like, if you were born with that motor and then you use the right fuel, and like I said, it must have fueled him to become.
Maybe he's born with it. Maybelline.
Lady
Gaga, born this way.
Bye-bye.